Sodor is full of surprises that span across the boards, with lots of engines that admire the beauty of the seaside, race across the countryside, and do countless jobs that one big man in a top hat would give them. The fat director was on his way to a soccer game at Dryaw. He will be the referee for the game. The Sodor United team were playing against Barrow. Sodor United were blue, so any engine that's blue, the fans clap and cheer. One day, Thomas and James were idling at the yard when the fat director approached them. "Hello, Thomas and James," he said. "Sodor United is going to have a soccer match against Barrow, and I am refereeing the game." Thomas and James stared at each other, and then back at the fat director. "You must both take a large amount of passengers, including the two teams, to Dryaw by 3 o'clock this afternoon. The game starts 15 minutes later." "Yes, sir," they both said in unison. Thomas retrieved the passengers on the Farquhar branch, while James took the others on the Brendan branch. They were pleased to pull passenger trains all day. James was idling at Brendan Town Station to pick up the Barrow fans. It turns out that the Barrow fans were wearing red, so they clapped and cheered for James. "Oh, thank you," he exclaimed. "You all are just as splendid as I am." "I know that," said one of the fans. "Your color is red, so you must be a Barrow fan as well." James then puffed away with a very smug look on his face. However, he didn't realize that the Barrow soccer team had just came to the station from the SS Roxanne and saw James disappear down the line. "Oh my God," said one of the team members. "How are we even going to get to the soccer grounds now that our train is gone?" 5 minutes later, Percy had a job to do from the dock manager. He was sent to pick up the Barrow soccer team. They were still stranded on the platform at Brendamtown. James met Thomas at the Scarlowy Railway sheds. Thomas had just taken some passengers from Ballyhoo. "That's another win for the red team," James boasted. "No, it's not," boasted Thomas. "Reds are the best." "No, blues are the best." "Reds." "Well, let's go and see who's the best then." James was now becoming more smug than he had ever been before. The duo had forgotten all about the fat director's words, and now they were going to compete against one another. "Red engine, red engine, red engine, red engine," James exclaimed as he headed straight for Crovan's Gate. Thomas had also picked up the remainder of the passengers after James had left the station, and he had puffed away. "You wanna know something, Rheneas?" "What is it?" "These two engines are going to be in so much trouble for the rivalry they are causing." Scarlowy's assumption was correct. However, Thomas and James were not aware about this yet. Thomas was so eager to get to Dryaw Station at the tick of 3 that he had raced swiftly through Kelsthorpe Road Station, where the fat director had ordered an ice cream from the ice cream shop. He could see Thomas vanish as he turned the corner. "Ah, Thomas, stop! Come back! You forgot me!" But Thomas was too far away to hear the poor referee. The fat director was stranded on the platform for approximately 10 minutes when Percy had finally came along. "Hello, sir," he said. "Are you having a spot of bother?" "Oh yeah," the fat controller grumbled. "Thomas had forgotten to pick me up. This is causing major confusion and delay, and it could get worse if I don't get to Dryaw on time. Just think of what my mother will say if I am late for the big soccer match. It would be like that one time I missed the luncheon due to the trouble I had in the snow." I'll take you there, and you'll see it in no time at all, exclaimed Percy. By now, Thomas and James had arrived at Dryaw. It was exactly 3 o'clock. The Sodor United team were confused. One member thought the Barrow team were too sick to play. Another thought that they were too chicken to come. James was now feeling annoyed that the game hadn't started yet. Thomas was starting to get confused. Shouldn't the match have started by now? Asked Thomas. Yeah, it should have, replied James. Come on, get on with it. Thomas looked closer at the crowd. But I can only see one soccer team. Yeah, that's true, said James. But where is the referee of the other team? Thomas and James looked at each other and realized their mistake, just as Scarloey and Rheneas had predicted. Uh-oh, they exclaimed in unison. By now, Percy had arrived at the station with the Barrow soccer team and the referee. The fat director was furious. And then there was trouble. Uh-oh, the duo exclaimed again. Thomas and James, he said, I am giving you both a yellow card. This means that you were competing against each other and not working together. One more mistake today, and it's a red card for the both of you. That means you two will be sent back to the shed. You'll be out of the game. Thomas felt guilty. We don't want to be, out of the game, sir. That's correct, said the fat director. Now, after the game is over, you will both work together to take the teams and fans back to their homes and bring the Barrow citizens back to Brandon Town. The duo stared at each other with guilty looks on their faces. Yes, sir, they croaked. The match started at the tick of the quarter hour, and the two teams battled to win the game. Thomas and James watched with very satisfying looks on their faces. I'm sorry for the rivalry back there, James. I'm sorry, too. From now on, let's just work together and not boast. Oh, yes. Let's. At 6 o'clock, the match had ended, and the Sodor United team had won the game. It was time for everyone to go home. Thomas and James had taken express coaches for the fans and the soccer teams. Soon it was time to leave. Since Brandon Town Station was closed for the night, James had taken the Barrow citizens to their home by rail. Turns out going by rail was a really good shortcut instead of taking a ferry. Meanwhile, Thomas had dropped off the Sodor citizens back to their homes across the island. And when everything was finished, and the moon had risen, Thomas and James learned that they should not have been so silly. As a matter of fact, James' positive behavior would not last long. But that's a story for another day.